Hello everybody, it is time for the work for Unit 3 Week 2. So let's click on Materials here and go to Quarter 1, Unit 3. Last week we were working on Week 1, right? We did our big giant test, so hopefully everybody has that done because guess what? It's Friday and it's due. So I guess it's due by the end of today, so don't freak out quite yet. We did the brain map. I got some really cool brain maps so far. So good job for those of you that turned it in. You turned in some really cool work. Work for week 2, though, is what we're here to talk about. The first thing is to watch the webinar. We're going to hold that on Friday at 11, remember? So if you're at home, click on the link. It's right, let me scroll up a little bit. It's right here. Fridays at 11. See how it even says Fridays at 11? If you're watching it recorded, make sure that you do that before you start the rest of the week because you're going to probably need the stuff that's in there for the rest of the week. We're going to talk about some interesting things this week in the webinar. We're going to talk about traumatic brain injury and some cool things like that. The second thing that you need to do this week after you watch the webinar is to complete the survey. So you just click into Theory Survey, and I'm interested in what theory you believe to be the best. So it's just kind of a curiosity thing. So it's really easy to do. It's an easy A, right? You just click into there and pick one. What do you think is the best? The assignment for the week is called Child, Adolescent, and Adult Brains. And what we're going to be doing here is using a little bit of research, right? I have 3 sites here you can use. And what you're going to do is you're going to create a comparison between a child's brain, a teen brain, and an adult brain. Right? So it's got all different kinds. I like this one is probably the best because it's got all 3 in one cool website. Look at this, right? You start off with 4 years old. It explains some things about, what a 4-year-old brain looks like, and you can go through ages. Look at this until you get all the way to age 21, and we can see that that's a mature brain, right? And so what you want to do is you have the freedom, like you did last week with the brain map, to create any kind of product you want. It could be an essay, it could be a PowerPoint, it could be a Prezi, it could be what else did I get? I got some posters, right? So any of those kinds of activities you can create, but the goal is to compare the kid brain, right? This is like the 4-year-old brain to the teenager brain in this area here to the adult brain in this area here, and what the similarities and differences are. Okay. And the reason why I like this site the best is because it's got all 3 together. But how do adolescent brains work and teen brains? They talk about what's unique about a teen brain that's different. Because the teenager brain is really interesting because it has some features that the adult brain doesn't, that the child brain doesn't. Because it's in this in-between stage of developing, right? So it's really an interesting kind of stage that you guys are in, most of you. And then next week during our webinar, we're going to kind of talk a little bit about the child, adolescent, and adult brains and what you found out. All right, so let's go back to Unit 3 and pan down a little bit. Okay, so do the theory survey, do the child, adolescent, and adult brain assignments, and then our discussion for this week is called brain drain. And I'm looking for some examples of child's and adolescent brains not being fully developed as adult brains. Now, I'm sure you could totally make the argument that there are some adult brains that aren't fully developed. I'm putting air quotes up. I know you can't see them, but I'm putting air quotes up. That aren't fully developed, but because we all make mistakes. But I want some examples of how a child and an adolescent brain, get people into trouble sometimes. Okay, and then we have a cool TED Talk down here for a video for the week. And it talks about how they ended up mapping the brain. You can see that right there. That is an actual tiny sliver of a brain. That's as big as a, piece of paper. It's even see-through. So it's pretty cool, and it tells you how they did it. It's really interesting. And that's our work for this week. All right, child, adolescent, adult brain for the assignments, discussion for the brain drain. Watch the video. Make sure that you post into the survey. And we're going to be done with learning about the brain. All right, so I want to hear the differences between the child, adolescent, and adult brain next week at the webinar. Okay, not this Friday that's coming up, but next Friday. All right, so it'll be the 27th. So the webinar for the 27th, we're going to talk about the child, adolescent, and adult brains. All right, guys, you guys have a great week, and let me know when I can help or answer questions. I'm happy to do so. Remember, you can call, text, email me, and my information if you need to get a hold of me is right here too, right above where the webinars are. All right, guys, you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.